After peaking out at over $300 billion, it's been an ugly ride downwards for cryptocurrency and the global economy alike. And after appearing immune to the downtrend and setting another all-time high at $4.98, it appears Chainlink has now fallen victim to the steep decline. In this video, we're going to do some technical analysis on the current state of the Link price, explain the measured move from the double top formation which is currently being tested, and we'll also explore where the price will likely go from here. And I also have some food for thought revolving around an article I read today on CCN at the end of this video regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a safe haven, so stick around. But before we get into the technical analysis, I just want to thank all our new and returning subscribers for being a part of the community and remind you to give this video a like if you find value in the content. Also, if you're interested in keeping up to date with the Chainlink project over time, make sure to subscribe to this channel in the bottom right corner of your screen. Let's go. Now, like I said, we're going to do two things today. First, we're going to talk about the current state of the price because it's really just been hitting a lot of critical levels and it needs to be talked about before we talk about where it could be going. And the first thing I just want to talk about is this white line, which is our overall uptrend, which, as you know, was established on January 3rd. If you've watched any of my other Chainlink technical analysis videos, and this is a relatively strong uptrend. Now, if it can hold, I'll say this, it will be moving into a short-term to a medium-term uptrend. If it can hold, you can see it tried to break through this today. And at the current moment, if you didn't notice, we are flirting with the $4 price point. We're testing that, but we came all the way down to $3.59 today, which is a really interesting level. And we bounced off it so hard. But it's a really interesting level because this purple line represents the 50-day moving average, which is a simple moving average, which is a line that we do want to stay above if we are to remain in a bull market. That's right, I said bull market, not bear market. Even though cryptocurrency is down, Chainlink has been moving up so beautifully in the past couple months that, believe it or not, we are still in an uptrend with this particular project. Now, granted, if you look at other charts, many of them are down and have now entered downtrends, but we're actually, at the moment, potentially still in an uptrend. The other thing I want to mention as I zoom in even further is look at today's daily candle. Now, that is a Doji Candle, if I've ever seen one. And Doji candles, if you don't know, are generally indecisive candles. And I also looked at the RSI. I'm not going to bring it up right now, but that is around 48 right now, which is right in the middle. So we are definitely at a critical point. I want to just point this out to you that the volatility today alone was 21%. What we're going to want to watch is for this to close the day. Once this candle disappears, which should be very soon, we want to close this day above this white line in order to potentially keep moving forward. Now, if you're wondering what this white line is up here, this is a potential top here. What I'm looking at is an ascending triangle. I'm not ready to talk about where the breakout from that pattern would be, but this is potentially, with 1, 2, 3, 4 touches up top, an ascending triangle. If we bounce off here and start moving back up to the upside, you can see if it retests that top. And I don't want to get too into that, but that's another pattern that's on my radar at the moment. But I'd like to talk to you next about a pattern that I've seen forming. All right, in my introduction, I talked about the double top pattern. And one of the things you need to look for when you're looking at a double top pattern is that you are indeed at the top of an uptrend, which of course we certainly are, as we started this back on January 3rd, as I mentioned, and we have been moving up ever since. And then we hit what we would call an eve top, which I was calling an ascending inverted scallop. I called it that in my last video, and I'll put a link to that up top if you want to check it out. But I was calling for an upwards breakout, and we did break out to the upside, but we didn't go too much higher, and then we turned right back around. So what I'm calling this now is an Eve Adam double top. And before I say this, I'm going to say, do not get mad at me. I'm just telling you what I see on the charts. I'm about to tell you the potential downside right now. So, I'm just reporting what I see. It doesn't mean I'm a Chainlink bear. It doesn't mean that you should throw tomatoes at your screen, although that might be funny. But I'm just telling you what the market's doing. We've got this uptrend. We had one peak here and then a second peak very close to it. And they say in the book that I always read that you should be within 3%. And from here, we are within 3%, 2.9%. The two peaks are very close to one another. And so what I want to talk to you about is this confirmation line, if you're wondering what this is. Now, this white line represents the lowest valley in between the two double tops. That price point is $2 and let's say $2.30. In order to do the measured move, which I told you I was going to give you, you measure, just for the record, so you can do this on your own, you take the bottom of the valley to the highest peak, which is right about here. Then you would measure downwards. I know this is going to look ugly. That's why I said what I said before. You measure downwards from there. And the good news is you don't take this whole thing, you take about half of it. So if you say half of it is right about here, we'd be talking about $2.50. So I'm going to draw this right here at $2.50, and that would potentially be our target. But in order to confirm that this is a true double top, and it's not going to continue going upwards and potentially approach the top of my ascending triangle, that's the price point to watch. If Chainlink falls below $3.31, then we have confirmed that this is an Eve Adam double top, and we could be coming down further. And I'll tell you right now, $2.50 is definitely a price that I would consider adding to my position. I'll say this also about the Chainlink community. I see a lot of you guys just buying Chainlink at literally any price, just assuming that it's going to go up and up and up, and likely I think it has a good chance to do that. But remember, as investors, you always want to buy at the lowest price possible. I know that's easier said than done. I know that's an obvious thing to say, but it's very true. Next thing I want to talk to you is about this article I found today on CCN. And it talks about how the stock market crash is potentially showing that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is not the safe haven asset it claims to be. So right now, before we go any further, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to comment in the comment section below and let us know, do you think cryptocurrency still could be a safe haven asset if things get really ugly? And I'm going to give you my opinion on this as well, but why don't you go ahead and comment right now before I even do that? I'll pause for a second. So let's just talk about the facts. Bitcoin bottomed at $7,689 on Monday. It's the lowest since early January. In the process, we gave up all of our yearly gains and are down now 25%, over 25% from the February peak. Bitcoin is nosediving along with global equity markets, proving once again it's not a safe haven. In my last video, which is this one where I talked about the coronavirus, I talked about where you might want to put your money in a true recession. Now, I'm going to go on the record and say I don't believe the coronavirus is strong enough to cause a true multi-year recession. I think what we are going to see, and we are in the process of seeing, is maybe a multi-month correction, maybe a short-term bear market, but I don't think this is going to turn into a full-on recession, and I explain why in this video if you want to check that out. I also want to talk to you about what I'm doing with my money, and I'm waiting for the stock market to dip lower. My plan is to buy the dip of the stock market, okay? So I'm not moving my money into cryptocurrency right now, and I have no plans to. Of course, as you all know, I have a fair amount of money already invested in cryptocurrency, so I'm just holding. And I think the smart money on Wall Street realizes that the coronavirus, as scary and serious as it really is, probably, I don't want to say will blow over, but probably won't last beyond the first or second quarter. So I think they're probably waiting in the wing and waiting with their money, just kind of like I am, to see how low this falls and then swoop in and rebuy the stock market. What we have to watch in the future is when fiat money, sovereign money, begins to be questioned. That's when I think Bitcoin will show its true colors and be a safe haven asset. What do you guys think about that? Also, go ahead and like the video if you've been watching and are still with me right now. I also want to thank you if you're watching and are still with me right now. Remind you to enjoy the ride, Don't invest more than you can afford to lose in cryptocurrency, and keep your eyes peeled for some insane buying opportunities, because as this market dumps, along with the stock market, we could see some insanely low prices in the near future. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.